My name's Pietro. I teach at New York University. I'm a professor of jazz studies there now. And one thing that comes up with my students a lot that I work with there and across the country is what's the best way to learn jazz? And what I think it really comes down to learning anything is about internalization. And internalization means doing something over and over and over and over and over again. There's no sort of quick study, if you will. One thing to do is to learn, is to study transcriptions, but not just study transcriptions on paper, but to play along with the transcriptions time after time after time until you can sing the solo without the music in front of you, until you can play along with the solo without the music in front of you. Till you hear the solo in your head. I was playing, some of these different influences of mine earlier, like Johnny Hodges. I can hear that recording in my head. I've listened to it so many times and played along with it. Because the other thing is, one of my favorite things when I was younger was to put on the headphones and play along with Cannonball. And what I found is I started to change the way I played. My embouchure changed, my ear stream changed, because I was trying to match their sound. It's as if you're trying to imitate someone's voice. You physically start doing things differently in order to achieve that sound yourself. I remember one time on flute playing along with James Galway, the Bach sonatas, and my stomach started hurting, and I realized, wow, to get a sound like James Galway, I've got to support a lot more than I have been. So this emulating, this playing along and trying to match, whether it's with recordings or in live with people who have great sounds and are great players and whose you can learn from, are all very valuable tools. So this internalization, so that it becomes automatic. This setting up this business of muscle memory, learning where the notes are, where the good pitch is, so that it happens automatic, so that you don't have to think about it. Because ultimately, you don't want to be thinking a lot when you're playing music. You want to be just in the moment and responding, and in that space of creating. And all of this technical stuff in terms of what's happening with your embouchure and your fingers and processing everything happens. It's like driving a car. You don't think about, okay, I have to put the clutch in, and now I have to move the stick shift, and now I have to turn the wheel. You just think about where you want to go, and your body responds. And it's the same sort of thing. So that's the most important thing that I could say is to work on this stuff again and again and again until it becomes internalized. Because ultimately, your goal as a musician is your own voice, is to find your own voice. And even though you may work on articulating something a certain way, you may decide, I know players that don't articulate jazz phrases in the way that I demonstrated, but they could do it if they needed to. It's part of it is just learning the skill so that you have the skill, so that you have the ability then to go beyond that and develop your own way and your own sound of within the music.